Irashaimase! Hello and welcome to Fitaurus' Kitchen. I'm your host, Chef Fitaurus. It's time once again for Shoot 'em Up Saturday, and on the menu this Saturday, we have The Legend of Dark Witch, Episode 2, The Price of Desire. The second in the Legend of Dark Witch series. What kind of taste will it have? Let's get cooking and find out. So as we start the game, we'll select a new game. Use that slot there, and we have 4 difficulty settings we can possibly choose between. There's the Very ×2 Easy, Casual, Expert, and Lunatic. For our purposes today, we'll go with Casual. Now our player select, initially you only have Jizo available to play as, but if you complete the game with her, you unlock the character Sora. And then, since this is the Steam version, there's a third character that's available, but at this point I haven't unlocked her. So initially we'll start with Sora and show you how her game is played. You have a choice of 3 different install types, auto, semi-auto, and manual. So I have done a video on The Legend of Dark Witch, and if you're familiar with the title, you know that the power-up system is similar to Gradius power bar. That's what these options are, so you can choose auto, semi-auto, and manual. Of course, manual is what we want to do. That gives us the most control over it. And here we are taken to more of a Mega Man style stage select. We have 8 possible stages to choose between, each with a boss at the end of it. A very similar formula. Initially, we'll go with Japanesque Knight, with the boss Kito, the military researcher. Japanesque Knight City is a town built using the culture of a faraway land. Rumor is that there is a researcher that stays in the Sakura field deep in town. The shops around look interesting, but let's focus on getting to meet this researcher. So when you begin each stage, you're in this kind of dimensional space. But as we move forward, we'll actually enter the stage itself. So as we defeat enemies, there's little dark butterflies that fly out of them that are called tres. And we use those tres to power up our characters. As you'll notice in below, as I defeat enemies and those butterflies fly into my character, the power-up bar on the bottom fills up in the color pink. Once an option is available, we can press the button to install, as it's called, and purchase, activate, or use the power, depending on the situation. Now, just a note, I really love the background animation that we see in this stage, and that's one of the main reasons that I picked it as the stage to show off with Sora. Now, Sora herself is a fun character to play with. Her weapons are interesting. She's got 2 weapons available from the get-go. There's this drop bomb that we've been using so far. It flies in an arc and has a spread bomb effect when it hits its target. And that spread bomb effect deals damage over time as well, which is something that's very useful. We can also change the arc of that we're throwing our drop bomb by either pressing up on your directional pad or stick or down. So we have a decent amount of control over that. We also have the Dynamo Plasma, which is a ground or ceiling crawling weapon. So it's not as useful, but it does have its uses in certain areas. So as we move forward, we have these pig enemies, and if they hit us with their skewers, the characters briefly transform into cute little pigs as well. There are also these neat ninjas hiding behind panels that are just there. Fortunately, that attack doesn't actually hurt us, it just slows us down temporarily. Couple samurai. They do have the ability to reflect our shots back at us. Another really friendly looking shop. and we find ourselves approaching the countryside. The one difference between Jizo and Sora is their additional jump ability. So for Jizo, she has one that's called Wing, where she'll float down if you hold the button once you've purchased the particular power-up. Well, with Sora, we have the ability to double jump, allowing us to get through certain sections of the game faster than we would be able to with Jizo. Now, we do have a certain number of hits that we can take. Those are represented by the hearts down just above our power-up bar. Some beautiful sakura blossoms that we're walking past. It is possible to claim hearts items that the enemies have dropped to replenish our health. And we find ourselves at the end of the stage. But there's also this little drunk seal that just popped out of that tree. We'll take it. We'll help him out. Before each boss battle, there are fun conversations between the characters. For our purposes today, we'll jump past this. We get our verses. Sora versus Kito! And let the boss battle begin. And the boss battles could easily be described as being two phases. As we deal damage to the boss, they have a revenge meter that charges up, similar to the one that we have, and then they fire out their power ability. We can use our own Shuttle Scramble! Revenge. It wasn't quite enough. One more shot. And Kito is down. Now, very Mega Man-esque, Yatta! After our little result screen, we gain a new ability. In this case, it's the Boing Boing! We throw balls that bounce around and hit enemies. It does have its uses. After you've completed a stage, you gain Aftertalk, which are just some additional dialogues that you can have with the characters you played, some fun extras for the game. There's also the shop that we can access, and the shop allows us to upgrade our skills, customize our slots, or increase the power and add additional effects to the weapons we've gained from the bosses. And what you use for a currency here are the trace, the butterflies that you pick up. Not only are you using them to power up throughout the course of the stage, but you're also saving those and using them in the shops. You also need an additional item that I didn't pick up any in the first stage called Sega. They're crystals that exist in the stage. There are 4 in each stage that you collect, and then they can also be used to upgrade our slots and power up as well. Here we have, we can level up the Boing Boing should we desire. There's also some magic items that we can purchase if we had enough trace available, which at the moment we do not. So I will take a quick moment to level up my trace here, which is actually not what I wanted to do. So I'm going to hop back to the title screen and start yet another new game. And this one's to go and show off Jizo, just so we can see a little bit of how the characters are different. And for her, we'll do the Myron Street stage with Riken, the time researcher. Myron Street used to be a popular tourist destination, but now, despite its pretty exterior, it has become a slum populated with beast folk. Normally, a human wouldn't dare come here, but it seems one fashionable weird researcher is an exception. Jizo is a little more straightforward in the way she attacks. Her primary shot is the liner shot. It's just your straight fired weapon. We also have the ability to change to her comet shot, which initially also is a straight shot as well, but once you begin to level the two up, there start to be differences. Here at a level 2, we see that the comet shot has a wave pattern to it, and the liner shot, once leveled up, becomes initially a 2-way and then a 3-way shot, all the way up to a 5-way shot. So here we have these somewhat nice looking buildings, but they've definitely seen better days. Also all these cute beast folk. Look at this kitty trying to hit us with love. While that's great, we don't necessarily want to get hit. So as I mentioned, the liner becomes a 2-way and all the way up to a 5-way if you have it fully upgraded. So I did already purchase Jizo's wing, so as you can see, rather than a double jump, she has the ability to slowly float down, giving us more control of our character, but not allowing us as much freedom to get to certain areas. As we progress through the stage, the rain that we were in comes to an end. There's a neat little environmental trap in this stage right here, where if you're standing in front of these windows as they open up, you're blinded by the light. Mabushi! To right. Got these big sheep that are a little bit hot with their coats. Oh, we got caught. I was hoping I could jump past that. And we find ourselves at the end of this stage. Once again, a conversation between the two. Then Jizo versus Uriken. If we can keep our distance from her. Oh, nope. Ice attack. Revenge! Hyper Dark Arm! Wasn't quite enough to defeat her though, so now she gets her revenge attack, which slows us down. And yet another boss defeated. Yattane! Once again, we learn the boss's ability, and we can move on. The time division slows down the enemies, similar to some items that do the same thing in the Mega Man series. Alright, well, that shall just about wrap up my look at The Legend of Dark Witch 2. So what do I feel the game has as far as plus flavors are concerned? I love the stage art, the sprites, everything are just so detailed and so colorful. It's definitely one of the things that I've enjoyed the most about the title. There are also a lot of extras that mainly unlock after you complete the game, but it's great that it has it. There's all these achievements that unlock design art when you finish them up. Sega that you collect, you can use to buy additional abilities both for the game or the museum as well. And there are also mini games. A great set of extras to have in a title, and something that really adds to the replayability of the game itself. The only real minus flavor I would give The Legend of Dark Witch 2 is the stages themselves are really straightforward. There's not a whole lot of creativity in the stage design itself, but that's really about the only minus I would give it. So it's definitely a game that I can recommend, either the Steam version or the 3DS version. I would highly encourage you to check out this title, as it's just a fun one to play. Alright, there we have it. Legend of Dark Witch wrapped up for your enjoyment. As always, I want to thank you so much for coming out and joining me today for Shoot 'em Up Saturday, and I look forward to seeing you again next week.